When you look in a mirror these days, do you sometimes pause, not out of judgment, but out of wonder at how much your face has changed without you noticing? There's a softness now where there used to be sharpness, a new glow in some spots, and a quiet dullness in others. The skin tells stories, even when you haven't spoken. And after 60, those stories grow louder. Not because you've done anything wrong, but because time leaves footprints. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, is this just how it is now? The dryness, the thinning, the way makeup no longer sits the same, or how certain creams don't feel quite right anymore. You're not alone. Skin after 60 becomes something new. Not worse, not broken, just different. It asks for care, not correction. Gentleness, not force. But somewhere along the way, many of us were taught that youthful skin was the goal, that fresh meant flawless, that smoothness equaled worth. And so we tried the serums, the peels, the tighteners. Some helped, some didn't, but very few taught us how to listen to the skin as it is now, to the needs that have changed, to the ways in which radiance isn't erased by time. It just shifts. Today, we're going to explore that shift. We'll walk through 5 gentle, real ways to keep your skin healthy, vibrant, and truly nourished after 60. No quick fixes, no harsh routines, just care that works with your body, not against it. Because glowing skin isn't about turning back the clock. It's about supporting the life you've lived and creating space for the beauty that's still unfolding. There's a kind of light that comes not from products, but from consistency, from small habits that add up, from rituals that feel like kindness instead of maintenance. But before we dive into those 5 principles, let's start with something more important than any cream or treatment: perspective. Because the way you think about your skin changes the way you care for it. It's not about looking young. It's about looking well, rested, nourished, at ease. Skin reflects more than age. It reflects sleep, stress, diet, touch, even joy. You can't buy that in a bottle, but you can cultivate it slowly, intentionally, with care. The women who age most radiantly aren't always the ones with the most expensive routines. They're the ones who've made peace with themselves, who've turned skincare into something sacred, not stressful, who understand that skin doesn't just need ingredients, it needs attention. That's what we'll focus on today. 5 ways to bring health and freshness back to your skin, not by chasing youth, but by honoring the skin you're in. Starting with something that seems simple but touches everything: hydration. Not just what you drink, but what your skin actually receives. Let's begin there. Hydration is often the first thing people mention when they talk about healthy skin, but after 60, it means something different than it did at 30 or 40. It's not just about drinking water, though that's still important. It's about understanding how your skin holds moisture, how it loses it, and what it truly needs to stay supple and calm. At this stage in life, your skin naturally produces less oil. The protective barrier that once locked in moisture becomes thinner, more fragile. That's why even a short walk in the wind can leave your cheeks dry for days, or why your usual face wash suddenly feels too harsh. And while many of us rush to add more products, more layers, more steps, what your skin really needs might be the opposite. Less, simpler, deeper. Janet, 68, used to spend nearly $200 a month on skincare products. My bathroom cabinet looked like a department store, she said with a laugh. But nothing was helping. My skin felt tight no matter what I used. It wasn't until she simplified, switching to a gentle, creamy cleanser, a barrier repair moisturizer, and a humidifier next to her bed, that her skin began to calm down. It's like I stopped fighting it, she said, and it started softening again. That's the shift. Hydration after 60 isn't about layering 10 things. It's about choosing the few that actually work. A cleanser that doesn't strip, a moisturizer with ceramides or hyaluronic acid that locks in water, a facial mist or thermal water that refreshes without alcohol. And perhaps most importantly, knowing when to stop. Over-cleansing, over-exfoliating, even over-moisturizing can backfire. Skin that's constantly worked on doesn't get the chance to recover. That's why the evening routine becomes so important. Not as a race to repair, but as a time to nourish. A warm, damp cloth instead of a stringent toner. a lightweight oil gently pressed into the skin. Even something as simple as keeping your environment moist, adding plants, running a humidifier, sleeping on soft pillowcases can help your skin hold on to what it naturally has. Hydration also means internal calm. The skin mirrors the body. If you're chronically stressed or dehydrated, your skin will reflect that tension. So start noticing how you feel when your skin looks its best. Were you rested that week? Were you walking more? Laughing more? Eating a little better? It's all connected. Skin doesn't exist in isolation. It responds to the weather, the air, the touch of your own hand, the quality of your sleep, the texture of your clothes. Think of it like a garden. It doesn't just need water. It needs balance. Too much of anything, and it wilts. But the right conditions, soft rain, gentle sun, space to breathe, and it blooms. Let hydration be the foundation, but not through obsession, through rhythm, through care that's quiet but consistent. That's where radiance begins. And once your skin starts to feel supported again, the next step becomes even more powerful, restoring your skin's natural strength. Because glow doesn't just come from the surface. It comes from deeper resilience. Skin after 60 becomes more sensitive not only to dryness, but also to disruption. Years of sun exposure, hormonal shifts, medications, and even well-intentioned routines can wear down its natural barrier. That's why the next principle isn't about adding anything flashy. It's about rebuilding. Restoring the skin's strength means focusing on its barrier, that thin but powerful outer layer that keeps moisture in and irritants out. When it's strong, your skin feels calm, smooth, balanced. When it's weakened, even a gentle breeze can make it sting. You might notice redness that wasn't there before, flakiness along the nose or cheeks, tiny bumps, or that feeling that your skin is reacting more often. These are signs your barrier is asking for help. And here's the hopeful part. It can be restored. Slowly, gently, and without a cabinet full of products. Evelyn, 73, used to love trying new skincare. I'd see something on TV or in a magazine and think, maybe this will be the one. But over time, her skin became fussy. I felt like I couldn't use anything without it burning or itching. Her dermatologist told her something simple but profound. Your skin doesn't need stimulation. It needs stability. That word, stability, became her new guide. She simplified her routine to just a few essentials: a creamy, pH-balanced cleanser, a barrier repair cream with ceramides, and sunscreen. I gave a month. No changes, no extras. Just patience. By week 4, the redness faded. The tightness softened. And for the first time in years, her skin felt quiet. That quietness is what we're after. It's not about erasing every line or chasing perfection. It's about helping your skin feel safe again. That's when healing begins. To support your barrier, avoid over-exfoliating. Many mature women were sold the myth that scrubbing means glow, but at this age, harsh exfoliants do more harm than good. Once or twice a week is plenty, and only if your skin tolerates it. Choose nourishing masks instead of peels. Look for ingredients like niacinamide, which calms inflammation while strengthening the skin's defenses. And above all, listen. If something stings, burns, or leaves you red, set it aside. Pain is not progress. Your skin isn't a problem to be fixed. It's a surface that has protected you for decades. It deserves to be cared for the way you'd care for a delicate fabric passed down through generations, with warmth, not force. Healing the barrier takes time, but as it rebuilds, you'll notice subtle but beautiful changes. Your skin holds moisture longer. It becomes less reactive. Makeup goes on smoother. And maybe most importantly, you stop thinking about your skin as much. It's no longer demanding your attention. It's simply part of you again, quiet, strong, at ease. And when that happens, the door opens to something else, bringing back life to the skin's tone and texture. Not with gimmicks, but through gentle movement and the power of touch. There's something remarkable that happens when we begin to treat skincare as connection, not only to our reflection, but to our sense of self. And one of the most overlooked ways to bring life back into the skin after 60 is through touch. Gentle massage, movement, stimulation that doesn't overwhelm, but awakens. Skin that's been cared for in this way looks different. Not because it's wrinkle-free, but because it looks lived in and loved. That kind of care isn't found in a bottle. It's found in your fingertips, in how you apply your cream at night, in how you move your hands along your neck, in how you take a moment, not to rush through a routine, but to slow down, breathe, and give your skin real presence. Lillian, 76, started adding a simple 2-minute facial massage every morning. Nothing elaborate. Just upward strokes with her knuckles across her cheeks, tiny circles around her eyes, gentle sweeps along the jawline. It wasn't just my skin that felt better, she said. It was me. I felt more awake, more grounded, like I was reminding myself that I'm still here. That daily ritual didn't erase her lines. It gave a meaning, brought softness back to her tone, color back to her skin, because circulation matters, especially as we age. Blood flow slows down, especially in the tiny capillaries near the skin surface. Gentle movement, whether it's facial massage, light tapping with your fingertips, or even lying with your face turned toward warm sunlight, can reawaken that energy. It's not about sculpting. It's about nourishing, bringing oxygen, warmth, and attention to places that have grown quiet. And this doesn't have to be complicated. You don't need jade rollers or fancy tools. Your hands are enough, especially when they're warm, especially when they move with care. The key is consistency. A minute or two each morning and evening. Slow upward motions, never pulling, never rushing, just offering support, encouragement, kindness. And while you're there, talk to yourself the way you would a dear friend. This skin has carried you through decades. It has held you through heartbreak, through joy, through illness, through laughter. Let your words match your touch. Let them both be gentle. If you add in a nourishing oil, argan, rosehip, or even simple jojoba, your hand will glide more easily. But the product is not the point. Presence is. And something else happens when we make touch part of our routine. We become more attuned. We start noticing small shifts. A new patch of dryness, a tender spot near the jaw, a little tension in the brow we didn't realize we were holding. That awareness isn't vanity, it's wisdom. It's how healing begins, from the inside out. So if you're looking for a way to bring freshness back into your face, start here. With touch, with slowness, with the kind of care that doesn't promise to change everything, but reminds you of everything you already are. And once you've reconnected to your skin in this way, the next piece falls into place naturally, protecting what you've nourished, not just from the elements, but from habits that quietly undo what you've built. There's a kind of damage that doesn't scream. It builds in silence, through habits repeated daily, through small oversights, through well-meaning routines that over time begin to chip away at your skin's strength. And after 60, protection becomes just as important as nourishment. Because when the skin is thinner, slower to heal, more vulnerable to the environment, what you avoid matters just as much as what you apply. One of the quietest culprits? Sun exposure. Not the blazing summer heat, but the everyday light through the kitchen window. The morning walk without a hat. The just 5 minutes in the garden. At this age, the skin's natural repair mechanisms aren't as quick. Damage accumulates faster. And yet, many still associate sunscreen with beach days, not with daily life. But it's exactly the small, unnoticed exposures that leave the deepest marks. That's why applying broad-spectrum SPF each morning, even on cloudy days, is not a cosmetic suggestion. It's essential skincare, not for youth, for health, for softness, for strength. Grace, 69, never liked the feeling of sunscreen. It was always greasy or chalky, she said. But once she found a lightweight mineral formula, something shifted. I started treating it like brushing my teeth. I don't skip it, and I swear my skin stopped looking so tired. Protection also means examining your cleansing habits. Hot water strips the skin. Rough towels irritate it. Over-cleansing weakens it. The goal isn't to be squeaky clean, it's to be gently refreshed. Lukewarm water, a soft cloth, and patting dry instead of rubbing can make more of a difference than most products. And then there's the question of fragrance. Many women love the way a product smells, but for mature skin, added fragrance is one of the most common irritants. Redness, itching, that vague feeling of sensitivity, it's often hiding in that lovely scent. Choosing fragrance-free or naturally scented options can quietly transform your skin's comfort level. But the biggest form of protection might not come from your skincare shelf at all. It comes from rest. Sleep is when your skin repairs, when it resets, and yet, many older adults struggle to get deep, uninterrupted sleep. If your sleep is shallow, erratic, or restless, your skin will show it. There will be dullness, puffiness, slower healing. That's why your evening routine matters. Not just what you apply, but how you wind down. Dim the lights an hour before bed. Stop scrolling. Let your final moments of the day be quiet. A soft cloth, a calming moisturizer, maybe a drop of lavender on the pillow. These small rituals protect your skin by signaling to your body, it's safe to rest now. And rest is where renewal lives. You don't need perfection. You need patterns. Small, reliable signals to your skin and your nervous system that they are cared for. That's what real protection looks like. It's not about shielding from every wrinkle. It's about creating a life where your skin isn't constantly on the defense, where calm becomes the climate it lives in. And when that becomes your new normal, something beautiful begins to emerge, not just from the skin, but from within. A quiet kind of radiance, the kind you don't chase, the kind you cultivate. And that's what we'll turn in next. There's a glow that doesn't come from highlighters or serums. It's deeper, quieter. It shows up in the softness of your eyes, the calm in your expression, the ease in how you move through the world. This is the radiance that arrives not from chasing youth, but from caring for yourself with a kind of reverence. After 60, beauty transforms. It stops being about turning heads and starts being about turning inward. It's the kind of beauty that makes people lean in, not because of how smooth your skin is, but because of how peaceful your presence feels. And your skin reflects that. It's the canvas that holds it all. How well you sleep, how kindly you speak to yourself, how nourished you feel, how much time you spend in quiet. When we focus only on what to buy or what to fix, we miss the point. The real shift happens when skincare becomes less about products and more about relationship. How you relate to your body, your routines, your reflection. That's where the most powerful changes begin. Small ones, often invisible to others. Like noticing that your skin feels less tight this week, or realizing that you look forward to your evening ritual now, or catching yourself smiling in the mirror. Not because everything looks perfect, but because something feels right. Mary, 72, said it best. I stopped trying to look younger. I started trying to look like myself, well-rested, clear-eyed, and steady. That's when people started saying I looked beautiful again. That beauty isn't loud, but it lasts. And it's built from the very habits we've talked through today. Hydration that goes beyond water. Barrier repair that restores peace to the skin. Touch that reconnects you to your own rhythm. Protection that respects your skin's needs. Rest that lets the body restore. These things don't promise a flawless face. They offer something better: integrity, comfort, softness where it matters, strength where it's needed, and the surprising joy of catching your reflection and thinking, I like her. I recognize her. You're not required to fight time. You are invited to live fully within it. Your skin is not proof of aging. It's a witness to living. And like anything that has endured, it deserves care, not correction. When you begin to see your skin this way, not as something to battle, but as something to bless, you open the door to a very different kind of glow. One that starts from the inside, moves through the body, and rests quietly on the surface. That's the kind of beauty that doesn't fade. Thank you for being with us. Share your thoughts and stories in the comments. What has helped your skin feel better with age? Like this video if it gave you something to think about, and don't forget to subscribe. We have more gentle, thoughtful content ahead, and we'd love for you to be part of it.